Well, we're set to begin here at Wazell Natatorium for the women's 200-yard medley relay. Remember, it goes from lane 1 to lane 6, nearest to furthest on your screen, so near to far. Lane 1 will consist of Anna Kate Goodson here on the first leg for your Pirates. In lane 2, it's Reese Richmond. Lane 3 will be Neva Maskev. Lane 4, Tavana Arisemendi. And then in lane 5, Mallory de Armanis. They're coming on the way back here. And it looks to be very close. It's pretty much almost everybody entering the pool at the same juncture. Lane 1, Elizabeth Krajek. Lane 2, Cassidy Levine for Austin College. Lane 3, Elaine Bentley. Lane 4, Lexi Hulsey. And then in lane 5 for your Pirates, Cameron Schaefer. On the turn right now, it looks to be lane 4, Hulsey, or just about half a body length ahead of the rest of the fray. Lanes 3 and 5, the Pirates very close to closing that gap as we enter the butterfly. Lane 1 in 4th place right now, that's Danny Garza for Southwestern. In lane 2, they're pretty much bringing up the rear, Marion Stanley. Jackie Vargas in lane 3 for the Pirates. Jocelyn Dimitri in lane 4 for the Roos. Ellie Samples in lane 5 for the Pirates. And it's Samples who has pulled ahead and taken a slight advantage as we enter the final leg of this individual medley, or rather team relay. Alexis Bolt, Gracie Kettler in lane 2, Delaney Alt in lane 3 for the Pirates, Lola Barkas-Schaefer lane 4, and then Emma Watson lane 5. We're at the midway point into the final stretch. Who will touch the wall first? And it's going to be Delaney Alt with the time of 1:59.49, taking first place here to open up the afternoon from Wazell Natatorium. Just a shade behind their time going in by about 4 seconds. 1:59.49 our finishing time. Pirates also able to take second place with 2 minutes 0.75. And then Austin College, it was lane 4, that final swim from Lola Barkas-Schaefer with a time of 2:01.33 to get us started. So good afternoon to all of y'all who have joined us here on the Pirates YouTube channel. I know plenty of Pirate athletics going on for you this afternoon, so I'm happy that you're able to take a little dip in the pool with us here to start off your Pirates day. Volleyball going on, women's basketball also set here for tonight. This will be the men 200-yard medley relay coming up. Lane 1 will consist of the Pirates, 3, 4, or rather lanes 1, 3, and 5. For the Roos of Austin College, they'll be occupying lane 2 and lane 4. Talon Welch in lane 1 for the Pirates. Andrew Renninger in lane 3, and then Christoph Gadin in lane 5. It's Jonah Cowles in lane 2 for the Roos, and John Austin Blaine in lane 4. So lighting off with the backstroke here, and on the first turn, let's see who comes out ahead. It will be the Pirates, who right now, all Pirates swimmers are ahead of the Roos swimmers at the moment. The battle seems between lane 3 and 5 for the Pirates, as Caden Jones has just entered the pool at lane 3. Mark Galindo in lane 1. Katie Ramsden in lane 5 for the Pirates. It's Theo Rogers in lane 4 and Tyler McDermott in lane 2 for the Roos. Here in the middle of the breaststroke. And it's Caden Jones who holds on to the advantage in lane 3 for Southwestern as Tim Young enters the pool. Nick Freeman in lane. Owen Rodrigue enters the pool in second place. Alex Lai And the Pirates really moving through this water quickly. Lane 3, Jonas Easton will enter the pool trying to secure the victory here. Lane 5 also looking good. Luke Lahone into the pool. In lane 4, it's Camille Murugan. And it's going to be the Pirates. And lane number 3, who end up in first place, Jonah Eaton, finishing up with a time of 1:41.79 to take first place. Lane 3. Actually, it was the team of the Pirates, Eli Allen, 1:41.79, who took first place. Between Nick Freeman and Eli Allen coming up, role number 3. Pirates taking second there. And it's a Pirates sweep at the podium, as in lane 5, the team of Gadin, Ramsden, Rodrigue, and Luke Lahone take third with a time of 1:43.31. And I have to apologize sometimes, folks. Sometimes the lanes and the sheet that I have in hand will get misconstrued, as, again, if you're viewing on your screen, lane 1 is at the bottom of your screen. Lane 6 will be at the top of your viewing device. And as we get set for the lengthy races here, with the women 1,000-yard freestyle, which will be followed by the men's 1,000-yard freestyle. As everybody kind of getting a bit of a warm-up after what was a thrilling start to our afternoon here at Oiselle Natatorium. Don't forget, while you are viewing these races, to make sure to leave a like and subscribe on the Pirate YouTube page. And that way you won't miss any of the action, and you'll be notified when any of the competitions are getting ready to take place. All right, y'all, welcome back. We're almost set to begin the 1,000-yard freestyle. Well, I thought we were just about to begin. We have a couple of other swimmers still completing some warm-ups during this slight pause. I do want to thank you again for joining us this afternoon here at the Wazell Natatorium. I'm Justin Simmons. Now, only 3 competitors set up for this contest. Alexis Bolt in lane 1, Kylie Allemeyer lane 2, and then it will be Jocelyn Dimitri for the Ruse in lane 3. And the men will jump in as well, so they're going to combine them. Tim Smith is in lane 6 for the Ruse. James Cosman in lane 5 for Southwestern, as lane 4 will remain unoccupied for this 1,000-yard freestyle. The 2 men up top, the 3 ladies on the bottom of your viewing screens. Alexis Bolte, Kylie Allemeyer for the Pirates on the second touch. Between the men right now is James Cosman, who has about a body length of a lead at the first couple of turns as they get ready for touch 3. For the women, it's Alexis Bolte, who's in lane 1, that's pretty much outpacing the group at the current moment. This race more about a mindset. Pacing, obviously, extremely important, as Jocelyn Dimitri has made the real first move there by starting to pick it up just a little bit, as they have now become neck and neck with Alexis Bolte. Over on the far side of your screen, up top, it's James Cosman, who has started to really open up the gap between him and Tim Smith. It's neck and neck, though, here on the touch, coming up here on the near side. And they both pretty much went into the turn at the same time, between Jocelyn Dimitri in lane 3 and Alexis Bolte in lane 1. As Kylie Allemeyer not far behind in lane 2. Again, still plenty of swim to continue here, as we're just getting through about the first quarter of this 40-turn 1,000 yards. Touch number 9 coming up for James Cosman, as right now had a split of 33.68. And by the time Smith gets to the wall, Cosman already pretty much 3/4 of the way down the pool, and will clock in with a split of 31.09. For the women, it's still neck and neck between Bolte and Dimitri, lane 1 and lane 3 respectfully. And we'll check where their time is, as it looks like James Cosman has picked it up in another gear. The Pirates down low, it will be Bolte with a time of 35.22, who is just ahead of Dimitri, 35.69, as Allemeyer clocks in at 36.73 on the turn. So again, not too much separating those swimmers, but it's been all James Cosman right now, as Cosman has opened up pretty much a full lap lead on Tim Smith. Yeah, they both touched the wall there, and they're both approaching the midway point, coming in opposite directions. So it really did seem that Cosman had picked it up a gear, and we'll see how long that will sustain. Here, back to the women, Bolte has now opened up a slight advantage as we're nearing the midway point of this 1,000 yards. As they go into the turn first on touch 13, it's Bolte in front. Cosman just hit the wall at touch 15 and now coming back the other way. Again, the men up top in lanes 5 and 6, the women in lanes 1 through 3, with lane 4 being unoccupied. Bolte, though, really starting to open up now, has a full body length lead at the juncture. Bolte at a time of 35-32. The split for Cosman last time, 31-76. Tim Smith in lane 6, touching the wall here with a split time of 35-22. The women coming back down. It's Bolte who leads. And at the touch, the split time, 35-53. Dimitri, not far behind, 37-09, but the gap is starting to widen. Allemeyer behind them, 36-34 for the Pirates in lane 2. Getting closer to midway here at Wazell Natatorium. It is a combined 1,000-yard freestyle. And following that, we will have the 200-yard freestyle for the women, followed by the 200-yard freestyle for the men. Coach Duncan directing traffic over there on the far side. As James Cosman is past the midway point on touch 21. That lead has opened up for Alexis Bolte here between her and Jocelyn Dimitri. The touch for Cosman, 35-47, or no, rather 31-59, really outpacing the group. 35-54 is good enough for the lead, though, for the women as Alexis Bolte's in front. Dimitri touching in at 37-31, so it's about a 2-second gap right now. Impressively, Allemeyer starting to close the gap between her and Dimitri, just about 3/4 of a body length difference there. It looks neck and neck up top, but right now it's James Cosman who has a 2-lap advantage. 31-45 with another touch here as we're getting closer and closer to about being 3/4 of the way done in this competition. 35-57 split, excellent time as that gap continues to remain around 2 seconds as Jocelyn Dimitri clocks in at 37-51. The split times, though, starting to fall for Allemeyer, 36-37. Touch 29 for Cosman as they come back the way down the pool. Excellent turn, 35-95 here for Bolte as they continue to remain in front. And the gap continues to close as it looks like Allemeyer might finally be able to take over Dimitri here as they are almost perpendicular neck and neck. Cosman continues to look smooth in this swim. And you can see just really utilizing a lot of the arms right now, just kind of cruising as they're about 3/4 of the way done now throughout this race. It's neck and neck, though, for the fight for second between the women. Allemeyer, Jocelyn, they both go into the turn, and finally, it will be Allemeyer who overtakes Dimitri only slightly, a time of 36-18 compared to a time of 37-34. A 31-92 split continues to hold the pace for James Cosman as they comfortably have a lead. Coming back on this way down, it will be Alexis Bolte with a time of 35-85, who continues to outpace for the ladies. Excellent swim here from James Cosman. 32-56, we're starting to see a little let up here as We are nearing the end of the swim for Cosman. Bolte has almost a full pool advantage between her and the other two competitors. And will clock in with a time of 35.70 on that split. Cosman touching the wall now at a split time of 32.64. Time hasn't slowed up by much. It's still close between Allemeyer and Dimitri. Allemeyer with a time at 36.44. Dimitri almost a full second behind, 37.29. As you have Tim Smith just making the turn at 35.74. It's not necessarily about who wins and loses when it comes to these dual meets. I mean, yes, you want to win, but obviously preparing and having your times ready for conference competition is it's really what the aim is. And that's what all these swims are for, is kind of to be prepared for that in a competition setting. But you do like to win these dual meets when you do get the advantages to do so. And you don't want to waste a good swim. And right now, it's been an excellent swim from James Cosman. Comfortably in the lead as they're coming up to the last couple of touches here. As you hear the bell rings. Cosman clocks in, and he's getting stronger. 31.83 on that touch. Bolte, time of 35.23 on the last touch of the split as they continue to remain about 3/4 ahead of the rest of her competition. The fight for second right now, it's Allemeyer, who seems to be comfortably in the lead as they have opened up a full body length between them and Dimitri. But finishing up this swim, let's see what they can clock in at. This is James Cosman, and just a shade over 10:30. It was 10:30.82. Excellent swim to take first place. Really improved on the seeding time as they had clocked in at 10:37.39, so impressive. We're coming up to the final couple of touches for the women, as Bolte will be on the final lap coming up. You can hear the Roos really cheering on Tim Smith here to finish up strongly over in lane 5 as they are now on the final lap. And you hear the ringing next to me, that's Alexis Bolte, who is now on the final lap as well. So Bolte just continues to power through stroke by stroke. The fight for second place is what's going to be interesting here. Allemeyer starting to have Dimitri close down on the gap. There's only about half a difference of body length between the two, as all lady swimmers are now on the final lap. Tim Smith will finish with a time of 11:26.36, and for Southwestern, a time 11:41.34. It will be Alexis Bolte who will take first place for the women. Good finish here towards the end. Dimitri really closed down that gap, and it's starting to get even more minute. Who will touch first? And it will be Allemeyer, and just barely. Finishing time of 12:02.79. And for Jocelyn Dimitri, a time of 12:03.54 for the Roos. So the Pirates will take the podium places in this competition as Cosman wins between him and Smith. And then it was Bolte who led the way. Allemeyer, great swim there to come back from behind. Well, no breaks here, as we'll just go right into the 200-yard freestyle. Again, we're going from lane 1, lane 3, lane 5, lane 6 for your Pirates is Elizabeth Krajcik, Mallory DeArmond, Delaney Alt, and Michaela Arizmendi. For the Roos in lane 2 and 4, it's Gracie Kettler and then Lola Barkas-Schaefer. At the first turn, it looks to be neck and neck in lane 1 and 3 for the Pirates between Krajcik and DeArmond. And it will be De Arman who had the slight lead, 28-67. Eight turns in this particular race. This touch will signify the midway point. And it's De Arman, time 31:08, followed by a time of 32:24. In lane 1 is Krajik. Lane 4, that's Barkas Schaefer with a time of 33:98 to sit in third. De Arman has a commanding lead right now. The tightness here is between Arizmendi as well as Krajik here in lanes 5 and 6. Or rather, Delaney Alt, Arizmendi in lane 6. And De Arman looking to finish up this swim and will take the top spot, 2:03.55, followed by second place in lane 1, Elizabeth Krajik, 2:06.89. And then in lane number 5, Delaney Alt will take third place, 2:08.91. So the Pirates will take the sweep. Barkas Schaefer finishes with a time of 2:15.24, as Arizmendi will finish up with a time of 2:23.82. Only 4 swimmers here for the men's 200-yard freestyle. Lanes 2 and 3 will be occupied by the Roos, David Stanford and Alex Lay. For the Pirates is Talon Welch in lane 3, Owen Rodrigue in lane 5. Everybody still in the pack here. Slight lead for Rodrigue in lane 5. And they'll be ahead with a time of 26:61. In lane number 5. They're followed by lane 3, 27:12 by Welch. Lai, time of 27:51 in third place right now. Rodrigue opening up the lead, has about a body length of space between him and the other competitors. But just when I said that, closing the gap, it's lane number 3. That's Talon Welch for Southwestern, followed closely behind by Alex Lay. It's David Stanford trying to keep up with the group here. Rodrigue just cruising right now in comparison to the rest of the competition. Welch starting to close that gap as we come into our final turn, or rather our final back in our final down and back. Final turn here, Rodrigue in the lead, followed by Welch, Lay behind, and then Stanford bringing up the rear. And looking to clock in with a time under 2 minutes, easily 1:51.56. It will be Owen Rodrigue who takes the top spot, 1:54.52. We'll take the second spot for Talon Welch, and then taking the last place on the podium with a time of 1:58.68 will be Alex Lai. This is the women's 100-yard breaststroke. For Austin College, they occupy lanes 1 and 2 and 4, as well as 6. The Pirates will have lanes 3 and 5. Hulsey, Norbeck, Levine, and Stanley, the 4 swimmers for Austin College going from lane 1 to lane 6. Lanes 3 and 4, Anna Kate Goodson. And then lane 5, Elaine Bennett for Southwestern. At the first touch, it is a time of 35:25 in lane 1. Hulsey currently in front, followed by lane 3, and that's Goodson with a time of 38:43. Right now, it's all Lexi Hulsey, who has a rather commanding lead over the rest of the field. Hulsey looking to clock in with a strong time here, and they will. Of 1:15:22 to take the top spot for the Roos. The fight for second, the last stretch. Who touched the wall first? They're going to say lane 3. That was Anna Kate Goodson, time of 1:22:36. And then in lane 4 with a time of 1:22:60, it will be Cassidy Levine. Those are your podium finishers. And we're just cruising through this now. Men's 100-yard breaststroke getting ready to begin. The Roos have lanes 2 and 4, Theo Rogers, Tyler McDermott. Pirates have lanes 3 and 5, Kaden Jones, Katie Ramsden. At the turn, it's neck and neck between Rogers and Jones. And it's Jones who has the advantage coming out, breaking beneath the water. Jones will lead with a split time of 29:83. Lane 2, that's Rogers with a time of 30:94. And then it's neck and neck, 32:16, 32:19 between the swimmers in lane 4 and 5, McDermott and Ramsden. Jones is ahead at the final turn. And as they break through the water, it's Jones who remains in the lead as that gap will open up. Jones continuing with a strong swim here. And Jones takes the top spot with a time of 1:03:68, followed by Theo Rogers, time of 1:05:91. And then the fight for third, it belongs to Tyler McDermott, time of 1:03:68, or excuse me, 1:08:02. So this is heat 1 of 2 in the 100-yard backstroke for the women. 2 racers competing in this one. It's Danny Garza for the Pirates in lane 3, Jordan Johnston in lane 4 for the Roos. And we're off. Garza ahead here with the initial launch, and when they break through the water, still in the lead. And that lead has opened up insurmountably. Well, nothing's insurmountable just yet, but it has definitely opened up quite the gap after that turn. Just good technique going into it. Now that gap is really opened up. Smooth swimming for Danny Garza here between her and Jordan Johnston. We come into the final turn here in the backstroke. And that gap continues to open up. Garza starting to kind of flounder off center, but just a really strong swim here as they will touch in with the time of 1:09:24. And Jordan Johnston will finish with the time of 1:22:88. This is heat two of two here in the women 100-yard backstroke. It's Cameron Schaefer in lane 1, Ellie Samples lane 3, Neva Maskey lane 5 for the Pirates. Tatiana Arizmendi in lane 4 and Reese Richmond in lane 6 for the Roos. Lane 2 unoccupied. At the first turn, it's going to be lane 3, Ellie Samples, who I thought was going to come out of the water on top. Instead, it's going to be Neva Maskey who's in front. Let's see what the splits will say here. It's really closing down. At the touch of the wall, it's really close. 29.78, 29.99, and 31.20 are our top 3 competitors. Right now, for the very precious moment, it's Ellie Samples who's barely in front between her and her teammate. At the turn, though, it's Samples who gets a bit of the lead, but now you can see that kind of dissipate as Maskey really makes it up underneath the water before breaking through. Coming through to the final touch. And it will be a nice lean, a time of 1 minute 90 for Ellie Samples, who takes first place. In second place is Maskey with a time of 101.97. And then the third spot in the podium will be a time of 104.44 for Tatiana Arizmendi. Then 100-yard backstroke. It's Eli Allen in lane 1, Christophe Gadin in lane 3, Nick Freeman lane 5, Alex Avila lane 6 for the Pirates. Lane 2, Jonah Cowles. Lane 4, John Austin Blaine for Austin College. At the first turn, it's the Pirates who have the breakthrough first, as 3 of their swimmers are ahead of the Roos swimmers. And it's going to be in lane 3, Christophe Gadin, who has the lead, 26.98. Lane 5, 28.10. It's Nick Freeman who's behind. At that final turn, it's Christophe Gadin who continues to be up in front. Gadin followed by Freeman. And the man in third is Eli Allen. But the winner is going to be Christophe Gadin with a time of 55.52. A time of 57.71 will take second for Nick Freeman. And a third place time in lane 1 for Eli Allen of a time of 59.19 will be enough for the Pirates to sweep the podiums. So you hear those cheers ring out, and it's because Emma Watts is the lone swimmer here, as they're really working on the timing in this women's 200-yard butterfly. And in fact, we will only have Pirate swimmers, both men and women's, for the butterfly. So Watts coming into the midway point with a split time of 35.06. And this is when you can see that it can be difficult to really judge how fast the swimmer is moving when there's nobody else around them. Going into the final turn, this is Emma Watts. Let's see if they can finish under the 1 minute 20-second mark here with this swim. Might hit 1:15. And I was just a bit off as they go into it with the time of 40:88 right now at the split. And I had misspoke earlier. It's 200 yards. We just went from 100 yards to 200 yards, so we got to double up a little bit. Now we're approaching the midway point of this swim. Really have to have those strong shoulders for this particular competition. At the touch is a split time of 42:26 for Watts as we're past the halfway point in this 200-yard butterfly. Right now, it's sitting at a time of 2:27 as the clock continues to tick. And that will be a final touch of 2:42.56 for Emma Watts. A little friendly competition between the two Pirate swimmers here, as it will be Tim Young coming off of a pretty good swim. And then Andrew Renninger, who will be in lane 4. Tim Young, the seed time was 2:05.84, so we'll see if they can eclipse that here. Going into the first split, 27:04 for Young, 27:96 for Andrew Renninger. It's Young who has a slight lead over their teammate in Renninger. Renninger just about a quarter of a body length different. Time 30:29 at the split, 31:23 in the split for Young. So Renninger getting faster that last go around as they try to close down the gap. Off of the turn, might be Renninger who might be able to overtake his teammate, and he does. So despite the slower start, Renninger now has the slight advantage here. Final turns coming up. Renninger faster on that last swim, 31:47, compared to Young's 32:45. And coming up out of the water first, it's going to be Renninger, followed by Young. And Renninger clocks in with the time to take the top spot. 2:02.77 to come back in from behind and beat Tim Young. 2:04.65. It's 2-on-1 here between the Pirates and between the Roos and the Pirates. It's just going to be down and back. Barkas Schaefer in lane 3, Jordan Johnston in lane 2, Jackie Vodicus in lane 3 for the Pirates. And it's Vodicus who's ahead at the turn coming into the final stretch. Behind them, Barkas Schaefer, Johnston bringing up the rear here. And out of this sprint with a time of 27 even, it will be Jackie Vodicus who takes the top spot. 28:01 is the final time there for Marion Stanley, or excuse me, for Jordan Johnston, and then Lola Barkas Schaefer in lane 4. Now we'll jump into the men's 50-yard freestyle. It's Jonah Cowles in lane 2, lane 4, Camille Muragan in lane 4 for the Roos. For your Pirates, Mark Galindo in lane 3, Luke Lowen in lane 5. Galindo at the turn, he's ahead and not too far behind Luke Lowen. Muragan right there with him. Who's going to touch the wall here first? It looks to be Galindo, and it is Galindo with a time of 22:33, followed by a time of 22:95 for Luke Lowen, and then a time of 23:03 for Camille Muragan for the Roos. So the Pirates will take the 2 top spots with their 2 swimmers there. So we went 50, down and back. Now we'll go down and back again here in the women's 100-yard freestyle. It says 15. That's fine. Thank you. You don't want to bother you while you're on.
Share. So it's like road rag. So rag? Okay. Yeah, so I guess it's like Cajun. Like, I'll see what I can do. I know there's a delay, so I was like, I'll just ask him. So no worries. Anyway, I thought I'd just help.
Yeah, no worries. Right. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, friends, we're almost ready to return to the swimming here. Glad to see that the Yacht Rock is still well and alive. Hitting a little Jimmy Buffett on this Saturday afternoon. So this is going to be heat 1 of 2. It's Kylie Allemeyer in lane 3 for your Pirates. Gracie Kettler in lane 4 for the Ruse, as both swimmers are pretty much neck and neck to get things started as they hit into the pool. On the first turn, it was Allemeyer who went into the turn first and will come up ahead just barely as they are coming through the midway point of this particular turn. And we will see who touched the walls first here. Allemeyer just slightly in front, 29.89 is the split compared to a 30.21. Still a really close swim here, and is the Austin Ruse swimmer who's starting to really close that gap as he found a little burst of speed into the touch. It will be the Pirates' Allemeyer who will touch the wall first, is Kylie Allemeyer with a time of 101.82. Just a shade behind the seed time of 101.80 or 101.13. Kettler will have a time of 102.03. This is heat 2 of the 100-yard freestyle for the women. The Pirates will occupy lanes 1, 3, and 5. Mallory DeArmond, Neva Maskey, Ellie Samples are your Pirate swimmers. For the Ruse is Jordan Johnston in lane 2, Reese Richmond 4, and then Addison Nordbeck in lane 6. Right now, it's an Ellie Samples lead, and it's right now all Pirates who are ahead. Samples with the first touch into the turn. It's 26.95 as their split, followed by lane 1 for Southwestern. That's Mallory Darman. Samples over in lane 5, already coming towards the final turn. And now into the home stretch. It's going to be Samples' race to lose. Here in lane 1, though, is Mallory DeArmond that's not too far behind, but Samples will touch first, time 56.12. DeArmond, time 56.99. And then the third spot will be taken by Neva Maskey with a time of 59.40 as the Pirates will take the sweep of the podium positions in heat 2 of the 100-yard freestyle. This is the men's 100-yard freestyle. Both of these swimmers, Pirate swimmers, Jonas Eden in lane 3, Christophe Gadin in lane 4. And it looks like this is going to be Jones who stays out in front. Halfway there now. As they break the water, Jones still in front, not by much. Or excuse me, Jonas Eden. Oh, that turn, though. Gadin might have overtaken Eden, and that seems to be the case. And it's going to be Christophe Gadin who opens up that length and will clock in at a time of 50.34, as Eden will finish up with a time of 51.30. Tim Young, lane 1, Eli Allen, lane 3, Owen Rodriguez in lane 5, Katie Ramsden in lane 6 for the Pirates. It's Tyler McDermott and then Camille Morgan, lane 2 and 4 respectively for the Ruse. And just like that, we're already at the first turn. It's going to be in lane 3, Eli Allen who holds the advantage. Quickly closing down, though, is Rodriguez over in lane 5 at the turn. It's Allen with the Split time of 23:39. Who's out in front? 23:72 for Owen Rodriguez, who is in second place. At the final turn, coming up out of the water, it might be Rodriguez, and it is Owen Rodriguez. Has a good half a body length ahead, and Rodriguez will take the win, 49.01, followed by lane 3, E.I. Allen, 49.44. And the third spot on the podium with a time of 50.26 will go to Tim Young in lane 1. Another sweep for the Pirates. That's a really good stop. Really good time for Jones. So this is the men's 200-yard backstroke. Andrew Renninger in lane 4. Alex Avila, lane 6 for the Pirates. John Austin Blaine in lane 5 for the Roos. Right now it's Andrew Renninger who has the advantage. Again, 200 yards. First touch of the wall for the split time, 28:43 for Renninger. But it's Blaine with a time of 31:50, followed by Avila for a time of 32:30. And at the turn, it's still a lengthy lead here for Andrew Renninger. They had qualified with a time, their seed time, 1:59.49. So we'll see if they can eclipse that here on this swim. Right now, making some good headway doing so as we're at the halfway mark at that turn. 30:48 the split. The Roos still in front for second spot here. Just about half a body length away. And then lane 3, Alex Avila. Or rather, lane 6, who is our third competitor. Getting to that 3/4 mark here. Renninger comfortably in control right now with a split time at 30:40. It's the fight for second that looks to be the more interesting aspect of this current race. At the split, 35:25 for Blaine, 36:57 for Avila. Coming down the stretch, final quarter of the pool length. Trying to get under 2 minutes and will, 1:59.15, which does eclipse their seed time of 1:59.49. Good swim there for Andrew Renninger. Able to shave off about 0.3 of a second. That can make a big difference later on in the SCAC championship competitions. John Austin Blaine finishes with a time of 2:16.13, and then Avila will round out the podium 2:20.04 over in lane 6. So this is a combination of the men and women's 200-yard breaststroke. We only have one male competitor. Lane 1 for the Roos, Theo Rogers. For the women, it's 4 Roos swimmers. Addison Norbeck, lane 3, Cassidy Levine, lane 5, and then Lexi Husley in lane 6. Cameron Schaefer, the lone swimmer for the Pirates in this one, in lane 4. They had the best, their seat time, 2:49.04. We'll see how they do here. Rogers clips in with a time of 32.85. For the women, who's leading this race right now, it's Hulsey, who has the time of 37:01. Quickly followed by Schaefer with the time of 37:38. At the turn, it's still between 6 and 4. Up top as Rogers trying to score the best time for himself. Rogers clocks in midway, 39:15 at the split. Who will take advantage here for the women? At the touch, it's going to be Schaefer who holds the advantage, 41-44 on the touch. Not far behind, 42-44 for Lexi Husley. And you can hear the screams of "Go Lexi" for the Roos as her teammates standing right next to the lane trying to encourage her on. Rogers has one more down and back to go. He clocked in with a time of 38:99. Yeah, this is a great swim, though, between Schaefer and Hulsey. Levine just about to make the turn to go into the final down and back. And then Nordbeck finishing up the route. As we check in on Theo Rogers right now. Rogers looking to finish up in this combined men and women's 200. He'll finish it off with a time of 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and 13 tenths. Hulsey has really opened up some body length between her and Cameron Schaefer, and it will be Hulsey who will win this one for the Roos, 2:44.80. Schaefer clocks in 2:48.03. Levine gets to the wall at 2:57.27. And Addison Norbeck trying to finish up strong here. And it'll be a finishing time of 3:06.98. This will bring us to our second long distance race of the afternoon. The women 500-yard freestyle. For those of you who have just tuned in, remember the lanes go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nearest to your screen. 6 will be the furthest from your screen up top. It's 4 Pirate swimmers. They occupy lanes 1, 2, 3, and 5. Danny Garza, Elaine Bentley, Delaney Alt, Emma Watts, Michaela Arizmendi will have lane 4 for the Roos. Yeah, we're going down and back 20 times in this 500 yards, and coming up first, time at 31:67. That's Elaine Bentley. On that turn, Bentley still in front, followed closely by Delaney Alt. Bentley hits the wall first. Time at 34:37. Alt not far behind, 34:62. The other swimmers pretty much neck and neck, 35:82, 35:93 for Garza and then Arizmendi respectively. This will be the 6th touch out of the 20. Coming up here, looks like Alt has taken the advantage. And yes, 34:66 is enough to get out in front of Elaine Bentley at 35:06. 36:87 is the time for Danny Garza. Emma Watts Watts apparently a late scratch in this competition. Alt got to the wall first. $35-17 to Bentley's 35-45. This touch of the wall will bring us to the midway point of the 500 yards. Between Alt and Bentley, and Alt once again, first one there, 35-11 to Bentley's 35-27. Garza hits the wall at 37-10, followed by Arizmendi, 38-31. And it looks to be Delaney Alt who continues to open up the gap between her and Bentley, her nearest competitor. What looked to have just been halfway has turned into a full body length now. And at the turn, 34-42 for Alt to keep the pace, 35-49 for Bentley. Here down low on the bottom of your screen, Danny Garza hitting that third spot at 37.64 at the turn, 37.79 for Arizmendi. So starting to close down that gap is the Austin Rue swimmer. Delaney Alt, 34.85 at the split, and just gets stronger as that's a full second lead now over Elaine Bentley. And you can see now on your screen what a full second really equates to is about a body length and another quarter of it. Out of the turn. Touch number 16 of the wall coming up. So we're in the final couple of turns coming up. Alt continues to swim strongly, 34.44. And Bentley now lagging behind it by about a couple of seconds, 36.10. But they're comfortably in second position. This is the penultimate turn for Delaney Alt. And you hear the cowbell. Split time for Alt, 34-33. For Bentley, second spot, 35-85. That's how big of a difference 1 second and a few tenths makes in the swim game. Home stretch time here for Delaney Alt. Bentley now on the final turn. And taking the top spots, Delaney Alt with a winning time of 5:41.94. They'll be followed by Elaine Bentley, who is just jettisoning in with a time of 5:50.47. And you hear the inspiration for Danny Garza to keep the pace ahead and secure that third spot as Ari Mendes is fighting hard up in lane 4. And for Garza, it's a time of 5:41.94, or sorry, 6:09.31. And then for Ari Mendes, it is a time of 6:11.57 that will finish the swim. All Pirate swimmers in this competition, again, men's 500-yard freestyle. Talon Welch in lane 2, James Cosman lane 3, Nick Freeman lane 4. Let's see who will take the advantage time-wise as everybody went into the turn. It was awfully close. It'll be a time of 27 37 in lane 4 for Nick Freeman, who currently has the slight advantage, 27.61, 27.66, just to give you an idea how close it is between all the swimmers. Again, 20 times down and back in this 50-yard pool. Or 25-yard pool, rather. And again, not too much separating them. Currently, Cosman, who's in front with that time of 30.03, just ahead of the 30.07. $30.42, $30.78, keeping things close, $31.78. It's Cosman in front. Welch not far behind. It's about half a body length's difference right now. At the touch of the wall, under 2 minutes, 31.05 is the split. 31.34 is the second split for Welch, and then 32.46 as Freeman keeping up with the fellas and not trying to drop off the pace. At this split, we'll be midway through this race. Right now, Cosman flying in the water with a time here at the split at 31.14. That's about 2 minutes, 30 seconds in the pool right now. Behind them, Welch, 31.30. Freeman with a time of 32.83. It was Welch who had the faster time, 31.53 at the last touch. Coach Duncan really trying to power through these guys to continue to swim out hard. We're about 3/4 of the way done here as we come into the final quarter of the 500 yards. Lane 3, James Cosman is in front, time 31.50. Lane 2, Welch, 32.27. 33.01 was the time for Freeman. So now we're starting to see some real separation here. James Cosman has a full body length and a half ahead of Talon Welch. 31.50 is the split. 4.08 was the time where the touch was made, with a split at 32.83 for Welch. 4.14 at the wall, with a split at 32.90 for Nick Freeman. This will be our final split time. And it will be a time of 31.69 for James Cosman, who leads. Final stretch coming up. And Cosman hits the flip. And really starting to power it on here towards the finish. Talon Welch trying to close the gap. Nick Freeman going to have to swim hard just to see what time they can get. At the touch, it's a time of 5:07.16 for James Cosman. Second spot to Talon Welch, 5:10.99. And then Nick Freeman will finish up with a time of 5:18.45 for Welch, or rather for Cosman, just a couple of seconds off of the seeding time of 5:05.26. So that will do it for our lengthy races of the afternoon, as we will jump back into the pool here for the women's 100-yard butterfly, as this is competition number 23 on the docket. Elizabeth Krajic, lane 2, Jackie Vargas in lane 3, Alexis Bolte in lane 5 for the Pirates, Jocelyn Dimitri going to be in lane 4 for the Roos. Yeah, that threw me off just a little bit, as it looked like Bolte was going to take up real estate in lane 1 instead, going back to lane 5. And they're off. Only 4 touches of the wall. Down and back for this 100 yards. At the first touch, it's going to be Vargas who leads. And they continue to hold that lead as they break through the water here on the 100-yard fly. And Vargas swimming very strong here as they continue to open up that lead. The split time, 29:47 for Vargas. Followed behind with a time of 32:09 in lane 4 from Jocelyn Dimitri. Lane 5, or lane 2, 32:61 for Elizabeth Krajic. Vargas definitely has opened up that lead. Everybody else just touching the wall. Vargas already midway through the pool here on the final straightaway. And for Vargas, it will be a winning time of 102.99. That will take the top spot. Second place goes to Dimitri, as Jocelyn Dimitri hits the wall at 108.83, and then a time of 110.29 will belong to Elizabeth Krajic. Bolte finishing with a time of 111.29. It's the Roos who have lanes 2 and 4. Alex Lay, David Stanford. For your Pirates, Mark Galindo. Lane 3, Jonas Eden in lane 5. At the touch of the wall first, it's going to be Stanford who's in front. But coming out of the water, it's going to be Mark Galindo who gets back in front. Now Galindo really powering through the water right now as he continues to open up a lead, 25-35. Almost gets a full second between him and David Stanford with a time of 26:70. 27:36, 27:55 between Lay and Eden. And then Mark Galindo just absolutely obliterating the field with that last lap going down. Now coming back. Let's see, can they get it under a minute? They will. 55? Yes, they do. 54.98 for Mark Galindo. Alex Lay in lane 2 will take second spot, 57.83, and then it was a tight finish for the third spot, 1 minute 24. In lane 4 for David Stanford, Eden right behind him, 1 minute 78. Very close. Well, here are our swimmers that have the full tool set. And looks like we did have a change, or at least an addition to this race from when I received the swim sheets till now. So my apologies if I don't have everyone's name here, but originally 2 swimmers for the Austin Roos. Marion Stanley in lane 2, Tatiana Remendez in lane 4. Anna Kate Goodson occupies lane 3. But my apologies, I cannot tell you which Pirate swimmer does occupy lane 5 as we go into the backstroke. Goodson in front here at the backstroke as they hit the turn in this 200-yard individual medley. Arizmendi not far behind Goodson, but it's about one full body length and maybe a body length and a half now as Goodson goes into the touch with a split of 35-49 to lead the pack, 36-96 for Arizmendi. And it's the unnamed Pirate swimmer up top, 42-21, and then 42-02 here in lane 2. Out of the breaststroke, it is still Goodson who leads, but Arizmendi starting to close the gap here. And Arizmendi, who doesn't come out of the water until later than Goodson, really closed down the lead that Goodson had going into the backstroke, and you're starting to see the strength here of a good swim from Arizmendi. Arizmendi now in front going into the final discipline. Here's the freestyle. Arizmendi's in top with a time of 43-16. Goodson lagging behind just a little bit, 47-26. Let's see if they can close the gap with a strong freestyle swim. The unnamed Pirate player up top is in third, and then you have Marion Stanley in second spot. But give a lot of credit here to Tatiana Arizmendi. The breaststroke opened up the lead. The freestyle just made sure that they had more. 2:24.75 on a great swim there from Tatiana Arizmendi. For the Pirates, Anna Kate Goodson, 2:29.71 after holding the lead through the first two disciplines. And then it's the unnamed Pirate swimmer with a time of 2:39.52 that will take the third spot, as Marion Stanley will finish up this race, see if they can come in under 2:52. And they do, just barely, 2:51.66. No changes in the men's 200-yard individual medley. It's Tim Smith in lane 2 for Austin College. Caden Jones in lane 3 for the Pirates alongside Luke Lawson, who's in lane 5. And it will be Jones who is in second spot, as Lawson in the first spot out of the fly and has about a body length lead over his Pirates teammate. Going into the backstroke, it was a split time of 25.60 for Lawson. Jones closed the gap there with a good swim coming out of the water. Tim Smith trailing the 2 right now for the Roos. And Jones once again showing off that ability to stay under the water and really eat up some space as they close down the lead that Lawson currently occupies. And as we go into the touch, it's neck and neck. 32-29, they're going to say that Jones is now overtaken. 34-40 was the time for Lawson. 36-10 at the touch for Tim Smith as we're into the breaststroke. Now you can see that Caden Jones has just a slight advantage that looks like it just dissipated as they both touched the wall at the same time. And then we have a stop. I'm not sure what had happened over to Lawson, but he has completely stopped his stop as he is coughing and pulling off his cap. So Caden Jones now holding on to this lead, and one swimmer seemed to have dropped out. Jones with a split time at 37.61 as he goes into the final discipline here into the freestyle. 38.22 is the touch time for Tim Smith. Hopefully Lawson's okay as he's being tended to by the training staff over on the far side. Jones trying to find the energy as he's veering off course to try to straighten back up towards the center. But he will finish in the top spot with a time of 2:07.09 for the Pirates in Caden Jones. And for Tim Smith, it will be a time of 2:16.11. But obviously the concern with Luke Lawson, who had stopped. And again, I mean, I don't have the best vantage point standing here on the diving side, but Coach Duncan out there to take a look as well. And this is good to see that Lawton able to get out of the pool on his own, but you just never know what transpires underneath the water. You know, obviously, looks of concerns from the fans here at the Wazell Natatorium. But the big thing was just coming up and coughing consistently as they were going into that touch of the wall. So one final warm-up session, folks, as we prepare for the final competitions, the final two competitions. And as soon as I'm saying that, I hear our announcer, our director, saying to clear the pool. as we get set for the women 200-yard freestyle relay. And that will be followed by the 200-yard freestyle relay for the men. Unless there's any last-second changes, I can tell you who will be for each team. The Pirates will be sending 3 teams out there. Lane 1 will consist of Ellie Samples, Jackie Vargas, Cameron Schaefer, and Alexis Bolte. Lane 3, Mallory DeArmond, Elizabeth Krajcik, Delaney Alt, Kylie Allemeyer, and then Lane 5, Anna-Kate Goodson, Neva Maskey, Danny Garza, and Elaine Bentley. For Austin, it's Michaela Arizmendi, Addison Nordbeck, Reese Richmond, Lexi Holsey, Lane 2. Lane 4, Lola Barkas-Schaefer, Cassidy Levine, Tatiana Arizmendi, and Jocelyn Dimitri in Lane 4. So the director had noted clear the pool. The pool has been cleared. We are almost set to go. We're a little ahead of schedule right now, according to the meet sheet. Here we go. It is the 200-yard freestyle relay. Samples in lane 1 currently outpacing the fray. Michaela Arizmendi, lane 2. Mallory DeArmond, lane 3. Lola Barkas-Schaefer, lane 4. Anna-Kate Goodson, lane 5. It is Samples who looks to be in front. DeArmond not too far behind. And at the split, they're going to say, is the Pirates in lane 1, 26.56, who hold the advantage. Lanes 3, 26.87, keeping it close. All right, let's see who's in the pool now. Jackie Vargas in lane 1 for the Pirates. Lane 3, Elizabeth Krajcik. Lane 5, Neva Maskey. For Austin, Addison Nordbeck and Cassie Levine. In lane 3, it's Krajcik who's now been able to take over the top spot, and they'll hold it going into our third swimmer. Delaney Alt now into the pool, followed closely behind by Cameron Schaefer. Ellie Samples has just entered the pool. Or make that Danny Garza. My apologies there, folks. Risman Reish and Tatiana Arizmendi now in for the Ruse. Coming back on the opposite direction after the touch. It's going to be lane 3 that remains in front. Delaney Alt. As we go into lane 3, Kylie Allemeyer into the pool now. Danny Garza followed by Elaine Bentley. Up top. And it looks like it's going to be lane 3. Kylie Allemeyer looking to finish strong here. Not far behind is Alexis Bolte, and it'll be Allemeyer with a finishing time of 1:48.59 that will win it in lane 3 for the Pirates. Place number 2 in lane 1, that was Elaine Bentley on the anchor lap, 1:49.66. And then in the third spot, it will go to lane 5, Elaine Bentley with a time of 1:51.02 for her team to finish up. It will be the Pirates who will sweep the podium with their 3 teams, led by the team of Jarman, Krajik, Alt, and Allemeyer in lane 3. Final race of the day. This is Christophe Godin in lane 1 for the Pirates, Tim Young in lane 3, and then Owen Rore in lane 5 for the Rouge. John Austin Blaine lane 2, Alex Lay in lane 4. These are our starters of the 200-yard freestyle medley, or 200-yard freestyle relay. And the Pirate swimmers are all up bunched as we now have Eli Allen, Mark Galindo lane 3, Kenny Ramsden in lane 5. Oh, this is awfully close. Every Pirate swimmer pretty much leapt in at the same time. Renninger, lane 1. Cannon Jones, lane 3. Luke Lahone, lane 5. Tim Smith now in for lane 4. Theo Rogers in lane 2 for Austin. Coming back, though, after I read those names off, it looks to be, I can't tell you, everybody's so close. Don't even get a chance to look at the splits. 22.94 is the top time. That belongs to lane 1. Talon Welch in the anchor leg. It's going to be followed by James Cosman and his teammate Jonas Eden, who have all entered the pool at the same time. And they all come out of the water at the same time out of the turn. Who's going to take this one? As Stanford and Morgan now are in. And it will be lane number 1 that will take the top time of 1:31.08. Lane number 2 for the Pirates, make that lane 5. We'll have second spot, 1:31.16, and then lane 3 is the third spot, 1:32.82. So the Pirates will once again sweep, this time with the men, and the top winning team is the team of Godin, Allen, Renninger, and Jonas Eden, with that winning time of 1:31.08. 1:31.16, just to give you an idea how close that was over in lane 5. Rore, Ramsden, Lahan, and Talon Welch. Man, that was fun to watch. You can just see everybody never really able to separate jump for jump, stroke for stroke. And that will end a very exciting day at the Wazell Natatorium. Here in this dual meet between the Austin College Rouge and your Southwestern University Pirates. So Coach Duncan and his coaching staff, you know, we're going to take the results from here, look through some of this video and go back and see where improvements can be made. We had some pretty solid swims, though, this afternoon that the Pirates should be very excited about. A lot of those seed times were beaten this afternoon. Multiple events for both women and men swimmers. No surprises that Renninger was the last month of October. He was SEAC Swimmer of the Week. Showed off a lot of that prowess here today. As you see, the cool down starting to begin. So this will be the final meet at home for the 2024 portion of the year. Your Pirates will head on down to San Antonio to the Tiger Invite. That will be taking place on the weekend of November 22nd to November 24th. And then they will jump back to San Antonio in 2025 in a dual meet against Trinity on January 18th till we come back here to the Wazell Natatorium for a dual meet between your Pirates and the University of Texas Permian Basin. They'll finish up non-conference at McMurray University on January 31st and then get ready to see if they can claim some championships in Garland starting on February 12th. So my friends, I want to thank you again for joining us here poolside on what was a fantastic afternoon for a lot of the Pirates. I mean, some really great swims once again, both men and women's. And until then, though, I won't see you for a while. So you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope you get to spend some lovely time with your friends and family, and of course enjoy whatever you celebrate. Please enjoy the holidays as we come up to the end of the year. And of course, I might as well just tell you all now, right? Happy New Year as we get ready to close out 2024. I know people always facing some trials and tribulations, even they might not show it to you. So hopefully this year, whether it was great or if it was tough for you, that it will end on a good note, and that you'll be feeling rejuvenated and ready to take on 2025, as your Pirate swimmers will as well. So again, for all of y'all and for everyone here at Southwestern University and everybody here in the athletic department that puts on these events, I'm the Smash, Justin Simmons, saying thank you again for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you back here, right here at Wazell Natatorium against UTPB in 2025.